If you have a potato and flour, you have the start to a delicious meal. Add in some pantry staples, and I'm going to show you 2 different small batch recipes if you're cooking for one that start with potato and flour. Okay, first up for these 2 recipes that I'm going to show you, I am going to cook these. Let me clean these. I'm going to peel these and boil them until soft. You can boil them whole with skin and all and then peel them. Do what you prefer. Okay, now it's going into cold water. Big pinch of salt. I'm going to cover with the lid. Let that come up to a boil and just cook until the potatoes are tender. Okay, let's work on the dough. So this is a 1/2 cup measure, and I'm just going to take flour and just kind of scoop it into the 1/2 cup measure. You don't want it to be packed because I'm not really weighing the ingredients, which I know I should, but I mean 1/2 cup. Okay, so I've got my 1/2 cup of flour, and you know what? I'm just going to scoop in just a little bit more. And you'll need extra flour for kneading or just bringing it together. Have it on hand. And here I have a 1/2 cup of water. I might not use it all. It's warm water. And I'm also going to be adding salt. And I have a little bit of cooking oil that's going to go into this. And that's it. I mean, I feel like it's very simplified. Okay, so pinch of salt. Kind of the way you would make pasta, you know. Okay, here I'm going to add just a little bit of the water in the center with the cooking oil. And then just kind of work it in. Nope, you don't want that to happen. Probably why you should do this in a bowl, but I'm trying to just use the cutting board here. Move that out of the way, get that back. I'm going to make sure I get all the oil out of that little container. And you're just going to work the dough in. Remember, we're cooking for one, small amount. Okay, so here we are. I saved the dough. Okay, so I've kneaded it, it was about 5 minutes. You want to knead it really well. If you want to get it really smooth, that works as well. But you want to make sure you work up that gluten, combine everything, and it still should be kind of soft and tender. And just, there, flip the cup over it and let it rest. Okay, here I am going to saute and brown onion, because this was like a medium-sized onion. Okay, here I have a pan. And I add some butter. And then you add your onions and you just cook them down, sweat them out, and let them brown. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt to help that. And then you let them cook. Okay, let's check on these potatoes. Oh yeah, these are soft and tender, and then the onions are where I want them. They're good. You can go a little bit further if you like. I'm good. They smell amazing, and shut that off. These are ready. Okay, so I scooped out the potatoes, and I'm just gonna mash them in this bowl. I am going to save this boiling water for the next recipe. Some cracked black pepper to the potatoes. Add another little pinch of salt. Let's mash. I'm not using a ricer because I don't have one. It's on my to buy list, but for today, oops, I am just going to use a fork. Okay, so I am going to reserve like half of the potatoes for my next recipe. I'm going to add a little bit of these onions into the filling. Whoops. Come here, precious onion. Give that a mix. Taste it, and this is your filling. Okay, back to the rested dough. But what I'm gonna do, roll it out, 1/4 of an inch thick, maybe. I don't know, we're gonna see what we can do here. Okay, so let's cut out the dough. And there we go. And let's just keep doing that until we go through all of the dough. I probably should have, oh, there we go. There. And then you'll want to just ball up the dough. So it's not like we have tons of dough to work with. Let's roll it out like this and then cut. And then you can just sort of roll it out into a thin disc to match the same size as the other ones. They're going to be a bit more rustic. Okay, so here's the trick. I'm going to take this is like a tablespoon scooper. And the trick is not to overfill these because then it'll burst when you go to boil them. So I think that's a tablespoon there. And then here's the other trick. You have to sort of push down the filling and make sure that when you enclose it, the dough meets the dough and not the potato, or it will burst open. And I have a feeling people are going to make fun of my pierogi dumpling dough skills. They're going to make fun of me because who knows if this comes out. I've seen some people where they sort of like do this. They kind of like fold it in on itself. I don't know. Should we do that? Maybe that will ensure that it stays closed. Okay, there's the first one. Okay, so while I'm making these, I want to mention the filling. You can add farmer's cheese into the mix. There are so many different fillings for this, but I kept it very simple with the potato and onion because I consider those budget-friendly pantry staples. Okay, there. Okay, so they're done, and I have this left over. I'm just going to eat that. I'm just going to get a spoon, eat it, and I've got 9 pierogis that are going to go into boiling water. Almost there, almost done. Okay, the water's boiling. It's hot. Now we're going to go in with our pierogi. And this one looks like a little empanada. So now I want to make sure that that comes back up to a boil. And once they come up to the surface and sort of start floating, then let them continue cooking for another like 4 to 5 minutes, and they should be done. I'm going to time lapse this, and I also want to mention, I mentioned it before, the fillings are up to you. I actually want to try potato with cabbage and bacon or salt pork. I think that would be delicious, or just potato and cheese. It all works. Use what you've got. And comment down below if you like these simple recipes or what you want to see next. Okay, so here I have a plate, and I'm going to add some butter here to the plate. And kind of mash it a little bit because I want to make sure it spreads easy. And I'm just going to start taking out the pierogi and putting it on the plate. No, that's my empanada one. Actually, this might be easier. Yeah. Good thinking, Angelica. Onto the plate. So you'll want to mix this up with the butter. Now for the onion. Right on top. If you've got it, add a dollop of sour cream. And a little more of those onions. If you have fresh dill, I know a lot of people like to add that as a garnish. But this is a delicious meal if you have flour and potato and some pantry staples, and in my opinion, this is a budget-friendly meal for one. I love it. Here we go. It cooked so well with a little bit of sour cream. I'm going to show you how to make a very simplified gnocchi. Now, this is the leftover potatoes that I salted and peppered. I would say this is not, I don't know if this is not quite a cup, maybe like 3/4 of a cup of potato. 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Yeah. You could add salt to this, but I'm using that salted boiling potato water. So what I'm going to do is just add some cooking oil, a little bit of cooking oil into the water. Let's add just a little bit of water here. And then just kind of start mixing and mashing with a potato. There we go. This is what happens when I really don't follow a recipe or don't have a recipe and I'm just going rogue in the kitchen. Might as well scoop that oil slick on top because I want the cooking oil. So yeah, just add the oil into your mixture and not into the water. I'm going to add a little more flour just to make this workable. You don't want it sticking everywhere. You want to make sure that it's, even though it has the potato and it's very soft and tender, you want to make sure that it still has that dough feel. So you're going to roll this out like a snake, cut it in half. Move that over there, and then you're going to cut, like, I guess, bite-sized pieces. Okay, so here are your potato dumpling gnocchi. You can use a fork and like roll it out to do that, like the line, but I'm not even going to bother. This is something quick and easy. I guess it's rustic, it's homemade, but you definitely can get fancy with your gnocchi. But this is, I mean, there are a lot of countries and cultures that sort of have this same type of cuisine. They call it different things, but I mean, the best way to describe it is a potato dumpling, I guess. Okay, water is boiling. I'm using the same water. And we're going to add, it's just, you know, another form of a potato dumpling. And this is going to take kind of like the same amount of time. I would say once it starts to boil and start to float, go for another couple of minutes. Okay, so you're starting to see the potato dumplings kind of pop up to the surface. That's great. That means they're cooking. I'm going to let them go for another minute. Okay, here I have like a tablespoon of melted butter in that same pan that I sauteed the onion. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic, salt, and pepper. You can just use salt and pepper. I'm just going to go with the pantry items and spices that I have. This is crushed red pepper flakes. And just give that a little swirl. Now I'm going to scoop up all of these. And it goes right in. Let's get this last one. Okay. We're going to sort of let this cook. Well, not sort of, we are. Going to let it saute and cook. Okay, let's give this a toss in the butter. Ooh. Okay, here I have some Parmesan cheese going on top. A little shake of dried parsley. If you got fresh, go for that. And this is it. This, in my opinion, is a delicious meal. And time to plate it up. Dinner is served. If you like this video and want to see more small batch, simple recipes that are budget friendly, comment down below. I hope you like these recipes and I'll see you in the next one.